Look around you. You'd at least see some type of living life. However, even if it's not living, the rocks, metals, all around you have at least some date of birth. Scientists all around the world, in the past and present, have devoted their lives in the studying of the time of the creation of either living or non-living objects or organisms. One of the ways these scientists date, specifically in terms of rocks and carbon, is radiometric dating. Using knowledge on the radioactive decay rate of isotopes in minerals and elements, we can calculate around the time in which the object was created. This time varies between different elements, but is the method scientists use the most when dating living and non-living things today. First, let's give you some background vocab. An element is a substance consisting of atoms which all have the same number of protons, i.e., the same atomic number. Elements are chemically the simplest substances and hence cannot be broken down using chemical methods. Isotopes. Isotopes are defined as each of two or more forms of the same element that contain equal numbers of protons but different numbers of neutrons in their nuclei, and hence differ in relative atomic mass but not in chemical properties, in particular, a radioactive form of an element. When there's a radioactive isotope, which is just what the definition entails, the base isotope before decay is called the parent isotope. After radioactive decay takes place, the resulting isotope then is called a daughter isotope, being a new version of the older parent isotope. In terms of decay rate in radiometric dating, it is measured by half-lives, which is the amount of time it takes for half of the remaining atoms of the organism or object to decay. For another explanation, here's a video.
Radiometric dating is the process of estimating the ages of rocks based on the decay of radioactive elements in them. Basically, there are certain kinds of atoms in nature that are unstable and spontaneously decay into other kinds of atoms. For instance, uranium will radioactively decay through a series of steps until it becomes the stable element called lead. The original element is called the parent element, and the end result is called the daughter element. Radioisotope dating is commonly used to date igneous rocks, rocks which formed when hot molten material cooled and solidified. The dating clock started when the rock cooled. During the molten state, it is assumed that the intense heat forced any gaseous daughter elements to escape. It is assumed that once the rock cooled, no more atoms escaped, and any daughter element now found in the rock is a result of radioactive decay since that rock formed.
One specific method of radiometric dating is radiocarbon dating, or referred as carbon dating or carbon-14 dating. Throughout the life of a plant or animal, the organism gains amounts of carbon. When the organism dies, the carbon amount then decreases at a known rate. So in theory, we can take the proportion of the original amount of carbon that the organism contains to the carbon the organism has now. This proportion can be used to date the organism. Radiocarbon dating in specific only works with living organisms because non-living objects don't obtain organic carbon. Radiocarbon dating is most famously used in dating fossils, as dating deceased living organisms today isn't really all too advancing in terms of science. Radiocarbon dating is a huge reason of why we know so much about when certain dinosaurs were alive, and even when the earliest found humans were alive as well. Within radiometric dating, there are some noticeable flaws, however, some of which are like knowing the initial conditions of the rock or living organism. Have the parent and daughter element isotopes been changed at all? And has the decay rate for sure been constant? These have to be assumed to be true unless we find otherwise, because we simply cannot find out those answers as of now. Nevertheless, radiometric dating and radiocarbon dating are essential to the world of science as we know it in various subjects.